Let's turn our attention now to the Canadian men's national team and the COPA America qualifiers, also known as CONCACAF Nations League. The Canadians now know their opponent. It's Jamaica. They won League B in Nations League, so they're first. They now earn the right to take on the Canadians. Those matches will be seen right here as well on One Soccer, November 17th and the 21st. The Canadians will probably be considered the favorites here. Obviously, they were the ones waiting for their opponent who had to play games to earn the right to play against them. But should they be considered the favorite, Wheels?
It's a tough one. If you were to spin it back 2 months ago, I would have absolutely said yes. Since that time, Canada missed a camp, went to Japan under a new manager, trying to apply new ideas or some new ideas. And, well, bringing along a level of continuity. And the team looked very rusty. They did not look connected for large stretches. And Canada went on and were the best team in CONCACAF and World Cup qualifier, not because they had the best players. It's because they played the best as a team. And that's something that they've kind of leaned into. Remember, Alphonso Davies didn't play in half of those World Cup qualifying games. Now, since that time, have they looked the same? Have they looked a little bit detached? When you look at the players in this Jamaica side, like Premier League quality players, Mikel Antonio, Leon Bailey leading the line, both very dangerous players. Damari Gray just moved to Saudi, but he's a long-time Premier League player. Bobby De Cordova-Reid of Fulham in that team. Ethan Pinnock, if he comes back and plays in these games, a Brentford defender. Like, there's Premier League players scattered through this entire Jamaica side. They had to go through the hard way here, playing competitive games in the last couple of windows in the build up to November just to qualify for these games. So they're going to be used to kind of coming together and playing in difficult moments in games that matter the most. I just question, where is Canada at right now? Sure, they should be the favorite. I'm not sure that they will be the favorite by the time we look at these teams heading into those November windows. Jamaica is a difficult matchup, not because Jamaica is the best team either, but they have a quality of player that can make you pay in the moments as well. So it's a difficult matchup for Canada. They're going to really need to be sharp here in the build up to this one.
How are you feeling, Jordan?
Yeah, Wheels, he touched on all the big points. For me with Jamaica, they have individuals that can hurt you, and they're a wild card. You never want to play a wild card in a quarterfinal in any type of knockout game. You never, because you just don't know what you're going to get on a day and how the game can move and how it could grow if it's 0-0 or if you have a rough start. But the big point that Wheels touched on, which is just so near and dear to my heart, is just kind of playing as a team, as a unit, as a cohesive unit. And I don't want to keep saying this word, but the brotherhood that was talked about for so long, I think people caught onto it and felt it. But it's okay to have a little dips as long as you get back to it, right? As long as you get back to picking people up when goals go in. You look at the second goal when Alphonso chips up and maybe hits his shin and goes in. That's not a time. I'm not expecting a huddle, but some acknowledgement between Borjan, Davies, center backs, something to uplift the group, right? I know you're playing Japan in Japan and they're balling and running by you, but you're about to play the biggest game, the next biggest game in the quarterfinals, right? For Copa America, something that you want to be a part of. I just want to see a unit. I want to see them going out and playing for each other and playing for the country. If they can do that, if they can play as a team, Canada have enough bodies, enough individuals that can stand out on the day, but the base has to be working together. So are they favorites? I still think they are if they're hitting their top level, but I also think they could easily be beaten if they're all just going in different directions, because at that point, you're not a team, you're just a bunch of individuals.
Ollie?
I think it's fair to question where Canada are at, but for me, they're still absolutely favourites in this tie. And I understand the quality that Jamaica possesses, but I think you can ask even more questions about what Jamaica looked like as a team and the balance of the team and the weaknesses that do exist there more so than Canada. Canada's problems have been against teams from outside the region who are clearly stronger than them. The problems haven't been in CONCACAF, and even after the kind of momentum of World Cup qualifying ended with the World Cup itself, Canada's still really taking care of CONCACAF opponents. When you look at the results against Honduras, against Panama earlier in the year, it's not really been an issue, even though we feel like the wind has been taken out of the team's sails a little bit. So as much as, yes, there are a lot of frightening names in that Jamaica team, they're still yet to put it together. They're still yet to register like a really impressive victory in this region, let alone outside the region. And when you look at some of the weak areas of the team, like central midfield is constantly players playing out of position, players playing at nowhere near the levels of Antonio and Bailey and Gray and so on. There are clear weaknesses in this Jamaica side that I think hold them back. And frankly, with them, I'll believe it when I see it, and I just haven't seen it yet.
Just one more thing really quickly. Other than Canada needs to wrap them in bandages, protect them at all costs, is Stephen Eustachio. He needs to play. It's going to be a difficult first away leg. Canada need to come away with a draw, in my opinion. They haven't won in Jamaica, correct me if I'm wrong, since 1988. It's been a place where it's been difficult to travel over the years. And I know that this Canada side is better. The good news, Canada don't lose against CONCACAF competition at BMO Field anymore in Toronto. No. It's been like a real fortress for this team. Their home record over the last decade is phenomenal when they're playing in Toronto. So you don't want to give yourself too much to do coming home. So go down to Jamaica, whatever that game plan looks like, to come away with something in that game. That's going to tell us a lot about what they face in terms of that second leg.
Yeah, and just a reminder to everybody, obviously, there are going to be 6 teams from CONCACAF who will be competing in Copa America. So if you win the quarterfinals, so this is what the quarterfinals is, Canada versus Jamaica. If you win, you automatically get qualification into Copa America. If the Canadians lose, they still go into a playoff. They still have a chance. But how about we just win and you're in?
Who would you have rather have seen, Panama or Jamaica? Canada playing.
Jamaica.
Panama's playing Costa Rica again. Panama's been playing very well once again as a team. They did so in the Gold Cup, but Canada has a good record against Panama, really, in recent vintage. So it's a tough one, just because of the type of player that Jamaica can bring to this game. And those big name Premier League players are going to want to play in Copa America next summer. This is part of the project that's going on in Jamaican football right now.
Panama is also a really tough place to go, as we saw at the end of World Cup qualifying. And I think you're right, Wills, the record has been good. But even like in that 4-1 win, which we all remember for the Davies goal, like Panama were giving them a real game for like an hour. And then Davies essentially did something ridiculous single-handedly and broke the game open, and the big players for Canada won it. But Panama, for me, is a better team right now. What I do want to say quickly, Nations League has been one of the best ideas in world football in years. Like, credit where it's due to, I think UEFA came up with it first. Like, it's so much better to have like quarterfinals to look forward to in this window than just playing some random friendly like we used to. So well done.
That's why they did it, right? Like, the whole point was for these games to get more games in, but then to also have them matter.
It's been good for the small teams as well to have real competition in the lower leagues.
The only liability is when Canada or other countries have wanted to go out and get another game, get a friendly against someone else to switch it up. You're sometimes saddled playing a lesser competition when you need. I mean, that's what happened in the build up to the World Cup. It just limited who Canada could go out there and play. So for the most part, I agree. But I mean, the calendar is just so jam packed, doesn't provide flexibility to do much else.
Nothing's perfect.
No, because of course you want your competition.
Except for your hair today, Ollie. Your hair looks phenomenal.
Appreciate it.
Great.
Let's take a closer look at that.
Oh, that was a real
like what are you
real
doing,
I'm not so sure about that.
What? I don't know about that. Anyways, well, no, you know what it is? It's because your hair looks the exact same, which means your hair must look good every single day. I think that's perhaps what Wheels was trying to say, and what I was trying to say. You just look good all the time. You take it for granted.
Pedaling backwards, though.
Anyways,
just trying to pay him a rare compliment here. Wow.
Thank you, Wills. That was nice.
I know. I was like,